Well, that was certainly worth the wait. By the way, that video will be available July 28th. You can check out Blackhawks.com to see how you can get yourself a copy of that. Because this team is so great in overtime, we're going to extend this session a little bit so we can hear from these guys. Let's welcome a guy who was traded to the Blackhawks at last year's trade deadline, played a huge role on the fourth line en route to his first Stanley Cup, Andrew Desjardins. Next up, a three-time Stanley Cup champion, the best captain in professional sports, Jonathan Toews. Let's kick things off with your initial thoughts. You guys were standing there in the wings watching the end of the video. What was your takeaway first, Jonathan, when you were watching that?
Oh, man, it's just honestly some of the footage we've seen this weekend, which I think is the Blackhawks have done an unbelievable job of putting it all together. It gives you goosebumps, and it's honestly the first chance I think a lot of us have had to kind of relive some of those moments. I mean, we all know we've been crazy busy the last few weeks, but yeah, it definitely is pretty awesome to see. I think we definitely share the same excitement as you guys, and we get to see it from a different perspective all of a sudden and really enjoy it a little bit more than when you're kind of in the moment and you're really focused. So,
Andrew?
Yeah, same kind of feeling. It's still so surreal when you're looking back at that, when you see that video, and how exciting it was, and how you guys were just behind us, and especially in that parade, like it's just an amazing feeling, looking side to side and seeing how many people were out there, and how much the city was behind us was just amazing.
And how close you came to having that light stand clip you as you went. We'll talk to the mayor about that. These are champagne problems. When you win these championships, you got to raise the light stand.
We should do that.
Johnny, I'm not usually a stats guy, but this one certainly stands out. You guys are 30-30 in games 1 through 3 in the Stanley Cup playoffs under Joel. You're 43-14 in games 4 through 7. You guys bring it in crunch time. Why do you think you guys have been so successful late in series?
I don't know. I don't think that's a stat we ever want to rely on going forward.
Good point.
I remember we were down 3-2 against Anaheim, and I think, we were just saying, we got to win one game. Don't worry about Game 7. Win this next game at home. We're feeling pretty good about that. And then someone, obviously the media, people are asking you about that stat. You guys don't lose these games. How do you feel about that going in? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I feel good about it, but I can't say that. Again, that doesn't mean we're going to win automatically, but I think it just goes to show you don't win Stanley Cups the way the guys on our team have won without being able to pull it off in those tough moments. And as we saw this year, we got better and better as each series went along, and we keep racking up wins when it matters. So that's how you win a Stanley Cup. There's no easy road, and Desi can attest to that too. His first experience. That's what makes it special, is to come back in a series like we did against Anaheim and find a way, against Tampa as well. So it was pretty cool.
Andrew, let's discuss the transition coming to a new team. Everyone's like, well, hey, he's coming to the Chicago Blackhawks. That's fantastic. But what's it like trying to fit in, transitioning both on the ice and off the ice?
Yeah, it's always like, I guess, somewhat of a shock when you first get traded to a new club, and you don't really know what to expect. You're coming in hoping all the guys are going to be good guys, and I mean, for the most part, hockey guys I think are pretty good guys to each other. So, the transition was pretty easy. The guys you know, Johnny here, for sure, one of the best at you know, making guys feel welcome, and you know, really true, a testament to how good of a leader he is to really, you know, sit down and talk to me, and you know, and really make me feel welcome. And I think that was made it a really easy transition. And then on the ice, you know, being trusted in situations, and you know, getting that confidence made it easy as well.
You know, Jonathan, if you look at the 3 championships, they've all been done in different ways. This one was the ultimate team effort. I mean, we had guys early on. I mean, Andrew wasn't in the lineup the first couple games of the Stanley Cup playoff run and played a huge role the rest of the way. I remember Game 7 in Anaheim, Versteeg is out there and in his suit, and you kind of looked at him like, we're going to need you. I mean, what were the conversations like to try to keep this team together, even the guys that aren't playing?
Well, I think it's that's the hardest thing to do is try to remind those guys that aren't playing very much how vital and how big of a part of the team that they actually are. And you know, it's really tough when you hear them open up about it, about how bad they want to be in there, because we all know, you know, that you know, go down the list of the guys that didn't play much, the Dan Carcillos, the you know, David Rundblads, the you know, Chris Versteeg, a guy who's got a reputation, he's a skilled player, he's a high-end player, having to make that sacrifice, and that's a hard thing. You know, those guys are on their own routine, they're skating together, they're you know, not with us most of the time. That's what it takes, though. I mean, those guys really set their own agenda aside, and they said, well, I want to be a part of this. I'll do what I have to do. I'll be ready when it's my turn. And Steger came in, was a great example of that, played amazing the last couple games in Tampa. Right after having a newborn baby, which I don't think can get any harder than that. I don't think he had any sleep in about a week. So it's tough, and a lot of respect to those guys, and even for Desi to come into a new team. You never know what it's going to be about, what it's going to be like, but he did a tremendous job just being ready for whatever opportunity, whatever was going to be thrown his way, and that honestly is a huge part, again, of winning a championship.
Andrew, Kimmo Timonen talked about this was the first time in his career he came to a team and he was blown away with the commitment that this team makes both on and off the ice. And I've heard players talk about, you know, Jonathan saying, hey, let's go out and grab something to eat on the way home from practice. And they go and they end up getting a huge shake, and they're like, we thought we were going out for lunch, and Jonathan's taking us out to get this, you know, green barley shake or whatever. But were you amazed with some of the conditioning and some of the efforts behind the scenes that go into building this team?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've been transformed after being around these guys for.
He's been on the barley diet for a couple weeks now.
I'm a straight green drink guy now. No, yeah, you know, it is amazing. Honestly, I didn't realize, you know, exactly what it took, I guess, you know, and you know, these guys, they're in immaculate shape. What they don't put anything bad into their body. You know, it's all done for a reason, and it just shows how it makes a difference. I mean, that's all I can say. They've changed me. I can tell you that.
I did see Lucky Charms in your Stanley Cup, so you're clearly not completely dedicated to the system.
I do love my sweets, though.
You can make an exception once in a while. It's okay.
All right, let's open up the questions to you guys. Thank you for filling out all these cards. We collected them. We'll get through as many as we can here. First one comes from David Haw in Indiana. Hard-hitting question here. Following up the Lucky Charms. Jonathan, if you were to put cereal in the Stanley Cup, what cereal would you go with?
That's a tough question because I did eat a lot of those sugary cereals when I was a kid. Lucky Charms being one of my favorites, but I don't know. Yeah, I heard Captain Crunch over. That's the only one that's coming to my mind right now.
That would make sense.
So let's go with that one. That was a good one.
Makes sense.
Just when you win the cup, though, not more than that. So.
Steel cutouts.
Allison from Skokie has this one, Allison Arkin. I couldn't sleep the night before Game 6. What was it like for you, and what mental and physical preparations did you do? Let's go to you, Andrew.
I think for me it was Game 6 was hard because you knew there was a chance that you could win, but I try to keep the same routine, same thought process. It's just another game, and try to focus that way instead of thinking ahead. I try to keep that mindset the whole way through the playoffs. So I think that was the biggest thing for me.
And we'll move on to you, John. This is Hannah in LaGrange. She wants to know, what's your most memorable part of the season besides winning the Stanley Cup?
Oh, man. I don't know. I guess it's hard to pinpoint one. I think there was a lot of them. So I think winning the Stanley Cup after going through the season that we did, the challenges that always kind of new things that come your way that present themselves, the fact that time and time again we got a group of guys that are able to keep their focus on the big picture and not worry about the little things that I think would kind of deter most teams. We just stay with it, and everyone jumps on board, and we hang in there. So I think throw that all in the pot. That's really what makes winning the Stanley Cup so special, and probably one of the most toughest trophies in sports to win, because of how long the season is, how many difficult moments there are where things aren't looking up for you, and you got great fans behind you. Obviously, that's the motivation, the incentive. You want to bring a cup home to Chicago, and we found a way to do it, so it's pretty special.
Sarah Garcia has one for Andrew. What made the line you were on click so well? The Desjardins, Kruger, Shaw line seemed like that was one of the most talked about lines during the playoffs.
Yeah, sometimes you don't really know why it works so well. I think, we all liked each other a lot. No, it's hard to explain. You just, you're on the same page out there. Things just seem to click. You're in the right spots. We were never shy to talk to each other about fixing things and to make us more successful. So we'd talk about things. It was easy. It seemed really easy. It seemed like we all played the same kind of style, and we helped each other out, and we always had each other's back out there.
Helena has one. She's from Chicago. This is for you, Jonathan. During the final game in Chicago, when the fans in the arena began to count down the last 10 seconds, what was going through your mind?
I don't remember. Just let me finish. I know. I mean, I didn't hear the countdown. It's too loud, too crazy. And I honestly, I remember the puck being to the right of Corey in the corner, and knowing that we're getting close, but still not having a clue how much time was on the clock. I remember the puck kind of flew, almost hit the top of the net, went to the far corner, and we dumped it around, finally got the puck out of the zone, and that's when I saw the guys flooding off the bench, and that meant to me, okay, it's over. So that was honestly my first cue. And I'm like, okay, it's safe to throw my stuff off and go celebrate with Crow and the guys. And it was much more clear cut in the moment than, say, a few years ago when Kaner scored. And I was still a little bit reluctant to jump over the bench. But it was probably the best moment since I've become a Blackhawk, no doubt.
Cameron, age 7 from Chicago, has one for both of you here. Which series was the hardest to beat?
I think we'd be on the same page with this. I think Anaheim was a tough series. I think the physicality, the pace of the game, a lot of close games, overtime games. It was the hardest hockey I think I've been a part of. So I'd say Anaheim.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And again, no disrespect to Tampa, because I think they far exceeded our expectations of what they were able to do and how difficult they made things on us. Considering the fact that neither team really, separated themselves by more than one goal until the end of that series. And but I think Anaheim, like Andrew just said, had so many components of the game: the physicality, the speed, the skill, the top end players. The Getzlaffs and Perrys that we went up against, and obviously Andrew and his line did a great job against them. They were such a tough team. Their goaltending in all aspects, and like we just said, there was overtime games, a lot of thrillers, some late night games. I'm sure that put all the audience, the people watching, through the ringer. I know my parents were stressed out. They were just telling me, let's just get this over with. I'm like, it's just fine. Just hang in there. We'll be all right. And but I know for a fact it's definitely tougher to watch than it is to play, at least on your heart rate, anyways. So, but that was a series I think that stands out to me beyond anything in the last number of years, as far as the challenges and just coming back from the 3-2 deficit as well. So again, that was kind of throw that on the list of things that make winning the Cup special for sure.
We'll close with one last question I think is on everybody's mind in this entire room. There's been a tradition, Jonathan, between you and Patrick at these conventions to have a dance-off. Whoa. Sources tell me the dancing is going to come to a conclusion here at this.
I hate to disappoint you, but Kaner's not here today, so the dance-off is not going to happen.
I'm definitely not a dancer. So.
Let the booze rain in. Let me hear it. Those boos are for Kaner, though, right? Because he's not even here. He's the one who bailed out, so I'm ready.
Yeah.
When you win the win the fourth cup. When you win the fourth cup.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. When we win the fourth one,
you guys will have to get him back here.
Sorry, guys.
Guys, thank you for doing overtime with us. Ladies and gentlemen,
thanks, guys.
Andrew Desjardins and the captain, Jonathan Toews.
Thank you, guys. You guys are amazing. Thanks for coming out this weekend. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.